Yo, what is up, guys? It is yours truly, King Gates. I'm here to give you guys this One Piece manga chapter 979. You saw I just fixed that, my little... Yes, I did. But this chapter of One Piece was great. I don't even know what else to really say. The chapter was great. There's so much moving towards the plot. There's a couple things that I had a couple gripes with. Just a couple gripes, but nothing too serious, obviously. The chapter, again, was great. It was a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 chapter. I don't really care what you think it was or what you believe it was because it was a good chapter. You know, honestly, rating chapters really has no relevance if the chapter, to me, if you enjoyed the chapter. If you enjoyed the chapter to the point where it's like, okay, then rating it, there's no point of doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. If you didn't, you did it. But again, there is a couple gripes I had with this chapter. Only two, though. Only two main freaking gripes. First off, the first main gripe. Kanjuro has yet to reach Kaido and Orochi. He's at Onigashima. And here's the thing that confuses me and really makes me believe like this is the stagnability that Oda has. He literally says, Kanjuro literally... and verbatim, okay? He's like, I didn't think, like, it could take this long, or how do you get there, or whatever. I understand. I get it. I do. I mean, he just came out as the trader. He probably hasn't even been that way. Probably been keeping up with conversations, using, you know, the bird to send over mail and whatnot, and all the other stuff. Like, I get it. I honestly do. But I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't sit well with me that Kanjuro is like, oh, it's going to take too long, or how do I get there? To me, that's just like, that's clearly like, all right, they're trying to stall this whole entire plan. It's not even like Momo's trying to do something, even though in this chapter, Momo sees a knife, so he's obviously going to try to do something to Kanjuro. But if you think about it, if Kanjuro was actually able to size up and show up to Kaido and Orochi and be like, hey, this is what's happening, blah, 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 because the only letter that Orochi got from Kanjuro is basically confirming the fact that he has Momo and all that stuff. It didn't, like, go into detail about everything else, and to me, that already, again, shows the stagnability of Kanjuro and Momo and basically, like, kind of where they're at in this current time of the arc right now, of the raid of Onigashima, the war of Onigashima. Because again, if Kanjuro and Kaido was to meet up, the same thing with Orochi, that's not a good thing at all. Because then that basically gives Kaido and Big Mom and all of them the ability to actually take on Luffy and then without it being a surprise, without it kind of being a raid on the Straw Hats end. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I kind of had a gripe with. I didn't really like the whole reasoning. But again, one, this might be just a translation error. Or two, which I'm pretty sure it's not, because if you look at the facial expressions, it kind of matches what he's saying and whatnot. But again, could be a translation error. We could wait on, we're going to wait on Sunday, actually. So we'll just see what happens as far as, like, everything that's going to go with Kanjuro and Momo. Again, Momo sees a knife, so that's very interesting. Who knows? We'll see. And again, Orochi has a letter that was sent by Kanjuro confirming Momo, not really going into detail about anything else besides that. Now, we finally see the Flying Six. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about it. Yes, don't worry, I'm going to talk about it. Now, before I want to talk about that, I want to talk about the positioning of the Straw Hats. I thought this positioning was really, really cool and something to definitely look back on and even, like, talk about, in my opinion. Again, okay, so the Southern, I believe, the Southern Command is being led by Denjuro, while the Eastern Command, or the Eastern Forces, is being led by Kinemon, and then we have Law and the Heart Pirates in the submarine underneath where the Eastern and Southern Commands are and whatnot, and they have the rest of the Red Scabbards, the 9 Samurai, along with Law's Heart Pirates, and then the Straw Hats are on the surface right now, basically getting into these tanks that Frankie has made. And this is basically all the Straw Hats except for Luffy and Zoro. Now, Luffy and Zoro left because Kid left. And Luffy was like, you don't even know about Kinemon's plan. Let me go help you. And Zoro was like, I believe he's going to get spotted. I 100% believe he's going to get spotted. I'm going to go with him. And then obviously there's the running gag. He's going to get lost and whatnot. So it was very funny. Very, very funny, hilarious, I thought, in my opinion. And it was good. It was good moments. I didn't think that Luffy and Zoro were actually going to just, like, go ahead with Kid and them. But why not? You know what I'm saying? That this is, like, the Supernova crew, so why not? That's going to be fun and whatnot. I love the character interaction between the Straw Hat crew, especially with, I'm about to say Jozu for some reason, especially with Jinbei, excuse me. Especially with Jinbei, man. Jinbei is such a great addition. He brings a veteran-like experience as well as somebody who's just like older, almost like an older brother type of sense, like a Robin, in my opinion, because we seen Robin standing next to Jinbei, and again, they're not like of the same age, obviously, but like Robin is obviously like an older sister to a lot of the Straw Hat crew members. Same thing with, now in my opinion, Jinbei. Jinbei is like a little older member, you know what I'm saying? So I love this dynamic that he's already having with the Straw Hat crew characters and the crew, excuse me. I love it. I love it. It was great. The interaction was great. Even Sanji trying to go into the ship tank with Nami and Carrot and all of them, and he wanted to go in, and Usopp and him was actually having a little argument. Again, the character interaction for this chapter was actually really solid because it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like it was doing too much. It just felt like a natural progression. I mean, there's no simpler version or simpler way I can say it. It felt like a very natural progression. I thought that was very cool. Very, very cool, actually, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the Flying Six. This is the highlight of the chapter. Everybody knows this. This is the highlight. Them sizing up Kaido. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fire, man. We got a Fishman, a Giant, and a couple great designs. I don't know how else to even cut this or chop this up. Because chopping up this Fable basically just means what's going to happen. Okay? Because we got a couple reveals. Kaido's son. First off, he is alive. Period, point blank. There's a lot of people saying like, oh, Kaido's son isn't alive. That's why he thinks he's alive. No, that was really stupid. And there's no point of even introducing a son. You know what I'm saying? There's no point in my opinion. So, apparently, Kaido's son has apparently left or ran away or some stuff like that. And he's actually brought the Flying Six, and the Flying Six are all ex-captains. But they are sizing up to try to be an all-star. That's why they actually want to go against Queen. And they have the opportunity, okay? The opportunity to go against an all-star. And Queen right now is making announcements or whatnot over the musical area or whatever. She's making announcements. Or he's making announcements, excuse me. But Jack and King is there, right? And Kaido basically says, you're going to have the opportunity to go against the All-Stars or an All-Star if you help me find my son, Yamato. That right there was crazy. That's cool because it gives me 2 initiatives for 2 characters. Yamato, why are you in the way? What are you doing? Are you a kid, or are you just like a man-child? Or are you just like, I don't care, I'm doing whatever I want to do? Like, there's so much with Kaido's son, Yamato. But I'm finally glad that we got his name, and I'm glad that Kaido's kind of speaking about his son in a more relative term. Like, yes, he is alive, he's here, go find him, love it. I love it. I loved about the Flying Six. I think the Flying Six, I don't know if it's going to be 6 versus 3 or anything like that, or if it's going to be straight up one-on-one battles, but these are ex-captains that are sizing up to be an all-star. So is it possible that we could see ex-Drake versus Queen, Jack, or King, and then he finally just announces his betrayal while trying to defeat one of the all-stars? I don't know. To get closer, I don't know. There's so much to speculate when regards to this whole Flying Six and Yamato and the All-Stars. And I love King's introduction in this chapter, by the way. King's like, listen, I called you all here. And you guys probably wouldn't answer if I didn't call you guys here. Is that correct? Sasaki, who's who? And they're like, yeah, probably, you right. And I'm like, damn, the Flying Six really don't listen to anybody but Kaido. Literally. but Kaido. And Kaido's like, also, I want you to see Lin Lin, aka Charlotte Big Mom, but she's changing, so that's going to have to wait. Excuse me. Love it. That whole part of the chapter really made me excited for the future events of One Piece in the next 2 weeks. I'm super freaking excited. His son name is Yamamoto. Kaido's son, Yamamoto. Flying Six, they obviously are ex-captains, six of them, and they want to be an all-star. That's cool. Obviously, Drake has a lot of other, you know what I'm saying? But for the majority, they want to be an all-star. Good protection. Good ass protection. All right, after that, moving on, we see Luffy. And Luffy right now, so this right here is a very interesting dynamic with Luffy because he has what the hell? Excuse me. He has red bean soup spilled on him, and obviously that's horrible. Like he don't fuck with that shit. But with him having red bean soup spilled on him, and obviously the Beast Pirates talking shit about like the land of Wano and basically the people who just like smile and all that stuff. We see when the Beast Pirates, they're talking about, this to Luffy, and Luffy somehow gets spilled all over him. He then remembers Otama. And when he remembers Otama, this is where it kind of low-key gets bad. It gets bad because we see what Luffy's face is. And to me, if Luffy goes and attacks this person, I don't think Luffy has grown then. You can't get mad. You can't get mad what a couple fodder dudes say. Like, Luffy, to me, has truly grown since Wano. Like, when it started in the whole cake, in my opinion. It started in the whole cake, but when it growth, I actually really began to see it. But I feel like all that's going to get backtracked if Luffy somehow confronts his Beast Pirate because they're talking shit, not necessarily about Otama, but something that makes Luffy remember Otama and the fact that, he's talking about all the other villages and they're weak and they'll eat food off the ground. I understand. And that's why hopefully Zoro can stop him. But when I seen that look on Luffy's face, it's like, oh shit, they're going to get it. And they should. They should get it. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it will backtrack Luffy growth, especially the raid to Onigashima. I mean, hell, you look like one of the Beast Pirates. Don't go attacking them just because they talking that shit. And these are fodder dudes. So to me, it will backtrack Luffy's growth completely and utterly. But at the same time, if it does happen, that's just a characteristic of Luffy that he just can't overcome. Simple as that. He just can't overcome that. That's just who Luffy is. So that's pretty much it for this One Piece manga chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what you guys think. And of course, I'm back. COVID-19 was going through, a lot of shit these past few weeks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace.